So that's the verses there. And then instead of being downcast because of such things, Paul gives him positive exhortation by reminding him to stir up the gift of God. That's Paul's words, to stir up the gift of God. The word that translates into stir up is found only here in the Bible, okay? It refers to being fanned, there it goes, fanned into flames. So yours is a better, probably a better rendering of that. Paul is then encouraging Timothy to kindle afresh the gift of God, which is in him, as he then says, through the laying on of my hands. Okay, this is probably referring to the same thing as was seen in 1 Timothy 4, verse 14. Okay, we saw that just a couple weeks ago, and 4:14 says, do not neglect the gift that is in you, which was given to you by prophecy with the laying on of the hands of the eldership. Well, obviously, Paul would have been there during that, and so he's saying that with the gift that was from my hands is probably the same instance there. Through the laying on of, though the laying on of hands was done by a group of men, Paul is using the singular here to make his participation in it personal to Timothy now, because he's writing the letter from him to Timothy. So he doesn't need to include the whole thing, and we do that all the time in our own writings. Paul laid his hands on Timothy. In this act, Paul and the others made an acknowledgement that the Spirit resided in Timothy and that he was now being set apart for service to the Lord based on the gift that he possessed as a leader. It is this gift that Paul is imploring him to fan into flames. This is reminiscent of the words of 1 Thessalonians 5:19, which says, do not quench the Spirit. Instead of stating it in a negative, he is stating it as a positive. Rather than quenching, he is admonished to fan. And, it can go either way. Some people don't like when you speak in a negative. I've got a person that analyzes my sermons and will quite often change a negative into a positive. And I like to say things in the negative, like do not quench the Spirit, but some people would rather say, well, fan the flames. That's kind of stylistic there, but sometimes saying things in the negative is, a different way of coming at the same thing. I don't know, anyway. So life application.